Hey guys, welcome to Mark the Point. Today we are going to go over some terminology and some strategic ways to sing bet, to press, or to power press your bets. And I'm going to give you an illustration of some of those as we go forward. But before we do that, let's talk about what operation that your bet is supposed to be called out at. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up a couple of bets here. Okay, let's just say you have about 3 or 4 bets um, lined up. Okay, there's 3 people at the table. How this works is the dealer has these set up at a positional spot. In this case, right here is stickman left or stickman one, stickman two, stickman three. That's here, here, and here, right? So whenever the dealer is going to pay your bets, he's going to pay them in operation. There's different ways to pay, different ways to pull, but in this case, we're only talking about the distribution of your payment. So this is going to pay this man first, whoever that stickman left one is. So he has a $10 bet. So you have the option of telling him same bet. Same bet meaning it's a $12 bet. He's going to pay you $14, okay? And he's going to give that to you. Typically, they come through the come, but he's going to put that in front of you. Okay, then he'll go to player number 2. So player number 2, you have the option. Do you want to call same bet? You want to go power press? The reason why I want to say this is because so many people, as soon as that dice is rolled, they call out a number. Okay, what is it going to be? It's a 538. Some people are saying at that point in time, press me or double my bet or pull me down. There's so many things that people are saying when it's not time to do it. So it's important for you to know when is your time to tell the dealer to press your bets, to pull down your bets, to spread out your bets, to lay down your bet. There's an operation when it comes down to it. You don't want to be at a point where you're sitting there throwing money on the table when the dealer has not even paid out all the bets yet. Again, let's start back over. This person would be paid first. Number 2, let's just say he wants to call it the same bet. Again, he'll call it $14 or 12 bet pays 14. He'll pay. It always typically comes through the come and he'll pay it out. Now, then you have another bet. Okay, that's a 35. Let's just say he wants to press it. If he wants to press, what does that typically mean? Well, it's important for you to know what units that you're talking about when you're going to press. In this case, a press on a $5 bet or a $10 bet, whatever you're showing here, a press is typically either 1 unit or it could be doubled up. In this case, let's just say if player number 2 or stickman 2 wanted to press his bet, he would actually say, press my bet. He would pay him here and he would stack it up to make it a $24 bet, and he would give you the $2 and change. Okay, now that unit is going to be a little bit different when here because now you're talking about red chips versus green chips. A full press here would be all the way up to a $60 bet. And that may not be what you want to do. You may not want to go up to a $60 bet. Maybe you only want to go up 2 units. It's important to tell your dealer what you want and when you want it. But the most critical part is knowing when you're supposed to get paid, when you're supposed to tell them to press your bets. Remember, stickman left, and this is also going to go the other way too. I'm just to throw out a couple bets here. This can go the same way here. It goes stickman on this side of the table, stickman right 1, right 2, right 3, or vice versa on the left side. So either way you look at it, you want to make sure you know when you're supposed to pay, when you're supposed to call it out. Now that you know the operations of where each bet is going to go, that's going to probably be more relevant whenever you want to put your bet down too. It's okay to say, all right, let's make it a let's say you want a $30 6 and 8, and you're at stickman 2, so you're gonna actually you can actually put your money down here in the come bet. Don't put it back here. Okay, if you put it back here right below you, first of all, the dealer has to reach all the way across to pick it up. Second of all, they don't know what that bet is for. But if they see this bet right here directly in front of you in the come, they're going to ask you before they do anything else or before they move around. They're going to say, "What is this for?" And they're going to look right at you and say, "What is this for?" That's when it's okay to say, "Can you put that on my 6 and 8?" And then they'll set you up, at the 6 and 8 at your spot. Don't throw chips because if you're trying to look cool throwing chips, people get aggravated because they start rolling everywhere. Then the people are grabbing, just taking time to set all back up. Just gently, at least even say if you're on the end. Let's say if you're over here, at the hook somewhere, it's okay to put your money right here in the corner and know that the dealer is going to go through all these people before it gets to you. Then you can quietly say, or not quietly, but you can tell them, put the money on the 9, put the money on the 5, put me 50 on the 5 and 9 or whatever that bet is. Make sure you tell them, and they'll know to give you your money back. They'll put their place of bets out there, and you won't get missed. You don't want to get missed by putting your money back here and just leaving it there because then your bet's not established. Or yelling at them when they're trying to set up other bets is also not very good etiquette because they don't know who you are. They try to hear it. They can try to hear it, but you don't want your bet to be mistaken or missed because you kind of spoke out of turn or tried to bet out of turn. So what I have just 2 quick scenarios. Let's do one more scenario actually, just so we have it here. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about power pressing. What does it mean to power press? Well, to power press means you're going to take your initial investment or your initial bet. It'll pay a payment of something, whatever that payment is. Let's say this is a $10 bet, or a 12 in this case, excuse me. This $12 bet is going to pay us $14. Okay, it'll pay us 14. So to power press it, you either use as much of this money to press up your bet, or you add two. In this case, you'll be adding to your bet to make it go higher. Okay, well, let's see what that's going to look like. Again, this is a $12 bet. A $12 bet pays $14. Okay, and I want to show you two different ways to look at this so you understand how much to press or how to press it while they're or before they're giving it to you. It's important to know a few things about the 6 and 8 that's a little bit different than any other number. So on the 6 and 8, it pays 7 to 6. That means that your initial bet has to be in increments of 6. So in this case, what that means is if you have a red chip, you have to have a mate. So a red chip, I'm doing that a little backwards, let's do it the correct way. So if you have a red chip, you have a white chip. Red chip, white chip. $10 bet. A good bet makes it $12, increments of 6. Now, when they pay you out, they'll actually pay you $14. 12 pays 14, okay? So what that's going to look like is, let's just break this down the exact same way here. A $10 bet, well, you need a mate. A mate is here. So you know that's going to be a good bet. Well, then you have $2 left over. So in order for it to just be a regular press, you could say, okay, press me up, and they'll put that $12 on here to make it $24, and they could give you back your $2. But we're going to talk about power pressing. So a power press means now you have $2 left over. What can you add to make this a greater bet or make this a bigger bet to go up to the next possible unit, the next possible payout? Well, you know that the 6 and 8 have to be in increments of $6. So this is 14 total, okay? But that's 10, that's 12, that's $2. Well, it has to be in increments of 6, so you know you have to add $4. And let's drop them down, 1, 2, 3, 4, to make it a good bet. Why? Because you have 2, 4, $6. Now I'm going to show you this exact same way, but I'm going to show it a little bit different because a lot of times what you'll hear the dealer say is, "Can you drop me $1?" In that case, it's going to pay them 15 for 1. Okay, we'll see what that looks like. So let's just say it's a $10 bet. It pays $14. They say, "Drop me $1." Let me give you 15 for 1. Okay, so now what they give you here, and remember, you just gave the dealer $1. Okay, let's be cognizant of that. But what you have here is their payment is 3 reds. Well, what do we say about here? For every red chip needs a white chip. So you know if you want to press this up to the next level, you have to give 3 more whites. You already given 1, 1, 2, 3. Now that makes it a good bet. Now let's put this together and let's see what it actually looks like. If you put these bets together, that's 10 plus 15, that's 25, plus 5 whites, that's $30. So you know when you have a $10 bet, it's going to pay you $14. You know you need to drop. I'm going to put me some more ones in my rack. You know you have to drop $4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to make this a $30 bet total. Or in this case, 15 for 1. You'd still drop $3 to make it a $30 bet to exchange it all out. Okay, now let's move over to how this would work with a $15 bet. So a $15 bet to make a good bet, it's actually $18. Let me straighten this up. It's actually going to be $18, okay? Again, I'm going to show you the idea of why this works. 15 pays $21, okay? 15, the payment on that is 7 to 6, which is $21. Okay, what do we have here? Let's go back to the basics. Every red chip needs a white chip, or every red chip needs a white chip. So you have 3 red chips. So you know off the bat, this is not a good bet. If you try to use all this money, you'd be short 3 white chips, and they'd say, "I need you to give me some more money," because that's not a good bet, or they would try to give you back money. In this case, you know if you have an $18 bet and they pay you 21, you actually need to drop $3, 1, 2, 3, to make it a good bet. So now let's add all this up to show you what this would look like. And I already know the number. The number is $42. So you're basically taking an $18 bet, you're getting paid $21, and you're going to give them $3, and it's going to pay, and it's total going to be, that's 25, that's 35, that's 42. So you know now an $18 bet pays 21. You need to put $3 on the felt to power press that bet to $42. All right, does that make sense? Okay, now let's move over to one more spot, and I'm going to show you how this works. Again, the same concept, but this case we're going to be on the 8. All right, again, 8 and 6, same identical. They're sister numbers, so it's going to be the same thing. Okay, just like a red chip needs a white chip, a green chip needs a red chip. Okay, what does that mean? Well, let's look at it this way. This green chip is really 1, 2, 3, 4. That's actually 5 red chips, and then that red chip is technically 5 white chips, right? Would you agree with that? So now what's going to happen is that $25 bet, or that $30 bet, excuse me, actually pays $35. Okay, so now how do we take this bet to power press to make it to the next level, one press higher of a good bet. Well, in this case, if this is a good bet, because that's 30, that means this is going to be a good bet. That makes it 60. Well, now you have $5 left over. Well, again, let's go back to the basics. What does this need? It needs a white chip. So if you drop one more dollar, you takes it from a $60 bet, 65, 66. $66 is a good bet from a $35 bet. Excuse me, a $30 bet. So set it all back up. Go back to the original $30 bet. It's going to pay you 35. Again, they would essentially do this faster, but they'd stack this up. You drop down $1, and now you have $66 sitting right there for you. All right. Now let's move over to a couple more numbers. Again, the 6 and the 8 are the most difficult because of how it works out with the $6 bet with the white chips and the red chips. The 5 and 9, you can power press these things, but it's so much easier. And we can do it pretty simple. Let's call it $10 here, and I'm gonna straighten up my chips in the back just so I can do it a little bit cleaner. All right, and let's call it a $15 bet here. So again, 2 different bets. Okay, let's do it back here. It works on the 5 or 9 just so they're together. All right, so let's do the $10 first. 10, like we said a while ago, a 10 pays $14. So if they did it like this and paid you 14, what do you have to do? Well, in this case, it's best to make it a $25 bet. So you're actually going to drop $1. Okay, here now you have a $10 bet. That's 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a $25 bet. So now all you have to do is drop down $1 to make it a $25 bet. Well, the other way they'll do that, just like the 6 and the 8, they'll say, can you drop me $1 to make it 15 for 1? So that's exactly what they do. It's the exact same concept. They'll pay you 15. You'll drop them $1, and now you have 10 plus 15 is $25. The exact same concept of dropping $1. They're just doing it up ahead versus you dropping it down and giving you whites or giving you 3 reds to make it a $25 bet. Okay, and let's leave that to the side for right now because I'm going to show you how to press that in a second. Now, let's show you the $15 bet. So this is 15 on the 9. So the $15 bet pays $21. Okay, so let's pay it out. $21. Okay, that's what this pays. So the options that you have is pretty simple. Most people, what they do is 15. That's 25. That's 35. Okay, so most people will actually tell you to drop that into your rack. Okay. But what does this pay? This is I'm going to exchange it out just so you show it. This is a $35 bet when you do that. Well, a $35 bet actually pays $49. A lot of times the dealer will say, if it hits again, it'll pay $49. They'll drop you $50, and you'll give them, in this case, 1 back. It's $49 payment. But what if you did this? What if, let's pull this back again. I'm going to set it all back up just like it was. Move this to the side. What if it was a $15 bet? Okay. And it does the same thing. It pays you, I got chips everywhere here, and it pays you $21. What if you stack this up? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes it again a green chip, a 35, and then you put that extra dollar. What if you put it right on top? Now sometimes people don't understand what that means. That's a $36 bet. A $36 bet pays you $50. So now you're technically playing the VIG, the whatever you want to call it. It's not necessarily a VIG, but it's a better payment. So now, rather than dropping them $1 every time it hits, now they're paying you $50 every time, and you're not having to continually drop that dollar each time. So now it's going to be an even payout of $50. All right, now let's see if we can power press this 9 a little bit more. So let's just say at this point in time, we've made it to the $25 bet on a 10 off of a $10 bet. Now, what options do we have? This $25, much like the 6 and 8, is going to pay us $35. Okay, so what you could do, you could just stack up 50, and you can rack the 10. Or you could actually just go ahead and stack this all the way up, make it a 50, make it a $60 bet. Not a whole lot of harm there. All right, but then you can just keep going a little bit higher. Let's $60 bet. That's going to pay us $70. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we call it 75? We'll pull back to 5. And now you have a $125 bet sitting there. Just put that $5 back in the rack. You get a $125 bet. That $125 bet is going to pay a nice, easy $175 the next time it rolls. Not necessarily a power press in this case, but it's a power move to take you from a $60 bet. It pays $70. You got a $125 bet. Or if you want to make it $130, stack it up. It's okay. A $130 bet is going to pay you $182, which is not really as easy as $175 payment. So I would just probably stick to the $175 payment at $125. Just makes it a little bit easier for the dealers. Always try to make it easier for the dealer if you can. The last advice I'd probably give you is to make sure when you do have a bet, let's just say it's a $15 bet, and it does pay $21, tell the dealer what you want. Because if you're telling them to press, they don't know what you want to press. In most cases, they'd probably tell you, okay, let's go to a full bet here, and they give you the dollar back. But what if you really only wanted to go press 1 unit? Tell them, press me 1 unit. Press me 1 unit, and they'll give you back the rest. Press me 2 units. They'll press you 2 units, and they'll give you back the rest. So just make sure you tell them, be specific, call out numbers. If you know the number, take me to 25, take me to 30. Whatever that bet is going to be, make sure you tell them, because you got to remember, most of the time their bets are rung up all the way around here, especially if you try to sell them, okay, press my if even a 9 hit, press my 5, $25. Well, they have so many things going on. Make sure you're really specific about where you want to press, where you want your money, so that A, you get the right payout, you get the right bet that you want, and it's set and it's established. All right, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. It get a little bit different than my normal rollouts, but if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the like button, that notification button. And my goal is hit 2,000 subscribers by Christmas. I'm almost there, and it'd be but definitely by your help if you'd help us get us there if you haven't subscribed already. All right, guys, until next time, mark the point and stay awesome.